This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. NCN sports coverage of 2024 NSAA Girls State Basketball is presented by Currency, Allo, Liberty First Credit Union, Woodhouse Auto, and by Midwest Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Lincoln for this special presentation of high school sports on News Channel Nebraska. Nebraska's high school basketball teams have been working since November for this moment, the start of the 2024 Girls High School Basketball State Tournament here in the Cornhusker State. We will have 36 games over the next couple of weeks between the girls and boys basketball tournaments right here on News Channel Nebraska. We are thrilled to be getting it started, the most fun time of the year, and it didn't even wait until March this year. We're getting going in February. Our first matchups are in Class C2 on the girls' side from the Bob Devaney Sports Center. I'm Michael Shifley. He's Lou Siefker. Eric McKay is with us. A whole host of News Channel Nebraska folks will be joining us throughout the next few days. If you want to watch high school basketball, this is the place to be for the next 3 days. Lou, we begin with Class C2. It's a fun bracket, and it's a fun time of year to be hitting the hardwood.
What do you mean? The state tournament is now? Right now? It's February.
We're ready for it.
We're ready to go. This is going to be a fun one, Michael. These are two really good teams. Both teams playing really well at the right time of the year. Yutan has played well all year long. They've only got one loss, but both teams coming into this tournament playing very good basketball right now.
So this is the 1 versus 8 matchup in Class C2. The Yutan Chieftains 21-2, Niobrara Verdigre 19-6. Let's begin with that top seed. The Chieftains, they came into this year expecting to be good, and that's been the case.
Well, since they lost their first game, and since then they're 21-1. Their only loss was to a really good Pender team. So, yeah, this team is playing great basketball. They've done it all year. This is a team a year ago almost beat North Bend Central, almost knocked off the champs last year, fell 4 or 5 points short in that game. A team with the school has no state tournament history. They've never won a game. They've got a chance to do that here today.
Somebody is going to win their first state tournament game because Niobrara Verdigre, the 8th seed, they've never won either. The Cougars, they have one of the premier players in the state. I'm looking forward to seeing Jocelyn Miller.
Yeah, she is fantastic. I got a chance to see her last year right before she tore her ACL, that made all of us sad. She's a great player, 26 points a game. So she's a fantastic offensive player, but really gets it done on the defensive side. Averages about 6 steals a game.
It's Yutan and Niobrara Verdigre to begin our coverage. We'll have your key players, and we'll check in with Eric McKay next on News Channel Nebraska.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The yellow jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, you know, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
We already mentioned Jocelyn Miller. We need to talk about her again. She's that important. A Hastings College signee. Cannot wait to see what she can do on this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it was sad last year because after she tore her ACL, it was a really senior-laden team. They struggled without her, didn't make it to state. This year, a lot of young players around her, so maybe the most impressive thing about her is not only her basketball abilities, but her leadership. She's really led this team and got them here. We'll see what she can do today against this Yutan team.
That's Niobrara Verdigre, the key player for Yutan, a very balanced team. We're giving the nod to Mara Takota, the top scorer.
Well, you know, she's one of those players, just a real high IQ, a player that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and she can score at all 3 levels. Doesn't score a lot of points, right around 11, 12 points a game, but a player that when this game gets close, she's a player that they're going to look to make plays, and I mentioned a real high basketball IQ.
For more on this matchup, let's head across the court to Eric McKay.
Thank you, Michael. You know, athletics comes with a lot of life lessons, and boiled down to its simplest form, the state tournament teaches you about opportunities and the importance of taking advantage of them, because you never know when you might get another one. Take the two teams in this game. Yutan came into last season with high expectations, but because of enrollment, they had jumped up to Class C1. Found themselves matched up against North Bend Central in the first round, came out flat. The rest is history. 4 straight state titles for the Tigers. Niobrara Verdigre, another team that had huge expectations last year, lost Jocelyn Miller to the season for injury, didn't even make it to state. Now both teams have a chance to take advantage of opportunities they didn't think they would get. We'll see who is able to take advantage as we get you starting lineups and all the action next. This is NCN.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
To sum up the past 20 years in one word, exceptional. It's one of our core values. But our people have been truly exceptional. Our customer support has been exceptional. In 20 years, where will Allo be? When we started, we were just a business fiber company. Then the demand came from residential. Now the products of both business and residential just continue to expand. We've got to start with customers' needs and always work backwards. The customers will tell us, and our teammates will take us there.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Allo. High-key internet for a low-key price. Want to see what games we're covering? Follow on X at NCN Sports.
Starting lineups being announced here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. I'm Michael Shifley. Lou Seifker with me. You already saw Eric McKay, our sideline reporter. Getting ready for this contest, let's check your school spotlight. Brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com. Niobrara Verdigre, they are the Cougars. They're here at state, hailing from the northeast edge of the state along the Missouri River. Gorgeous country, and making the trek down to Lincoln. Yutan from just to the west of Omaha. The Chieftains here in Lincoln for consecutive seasons. 21-2, number 1 Yutan. Number 8, Niobrara Verdigre, 19-6. Starting lineup time, Niobrara Verdigre, led by head coach Chris Swally. Hihaka Frazier gets the start. She's a 5'8" senior. Olivia McCormick, a 5'5" senior. Chloe Hanslick, a 5'10" junior. Summer Vesley, a 5'10" senior. And Jocelyn Miller, we've mentioned her a lot, and we're going to wear out her name here this morning. Miller, a 5'9" senior.
She might be wearing out some nets here this morning.
That's certainly her intention, and the Cougars' hope here against the number 1 seed, Yutan. The Chieftains are led by their head coach, Clay Carlton, in his 4th year at the helm of the program. In their starting lineup, they have Jade Lewis, a 5'8" junior. Haley Kuby, a 5'6" senior. Jenna Benjamin, a 5'5" sophomore. Miley Takota, She's a 5'11 sophomore, and Mara Dakota, a 5'10 senior. The Dakotas, a tight sister connection. One sophomore, one senior. They have a sixth sense on where each other are on the courts.
So, Michael, that certainly helps when you have a family member that you know, not only do you play with here on the court, but you kind of compete with. You kind of know what each other's going to do. We'll see how that plays into this ball game for Yutan here this morning.
Class C2, this is the first game of the day. We will have 4 Class C2 matchups as we build up towards the semifinals. Here's what it looks like. Number 1, Yutan, Niobrara Verdigre. After this game, we have Cross County and Bishop Neumann. A short break between contests after that. And then it's Crofton, Clarkson, Lee, Elmwood, Murdoch, Oakland, Craig. Visiting with the coaches, Lou, they said any of these 8 teams can win it, but most folks said they're leaning that Crofton would be considered the favorite.
Well, Crofton's undefeated, and it was the power points that took Yutan up to the number 1 seed, but certainly Crofton, I think, the team to beat since they have not been beaten all year. But this Yutan team, 21-1 in their last 22 games. That's nothing to sneeze at. This is a good basketball team. We're talking about history with these schools. Verdigre, when it just was Verdigre High School, they have the only win, and that was in 1988. Yutan has never won here at State. Niobrara Verdigre has never won here at State.
It's been a co-op going about 10 years now between Niobrara and Verdigre. Yutan wins the tip-off. They'll begin with the basketball, facing a 2-3 zone defense. The Cougars exclusively play that zone style. Right away, they work to get the ball inside, and an early whistle. It's a tie-up. Mara Dakota couldn't hang on to it by herself. Jocelyn Miller gets her hands in there.
Yeah, first turnover of the ball game. That 2-3 zone is not your average 2-3 zone. It's a very aggressive zone. They'll come out and pressure the basketball, and they're really adept at turning teams over out of that 2-3.
Miller has the basketball. Again, she will be playing college hoops at the NAIA level. And she is one of the top players in this class, one of the top players on the state. And can't hang on to it there. Both sides turning it over early in this game.
The operative word there, Michael, is early. It's early. It's an early ball game. Got to get. Not only do you have the time that you're dealing with, but just the nerves of playing your first tournament game.
Good deflection and a loose basketball that winds up with Niobrara Verdigre. Hihaka Frazier helping to deflect that basketball and take it away. Miller guarded tightly there. She's getting face guarded by Miley Dakota. That's the 5'9" Miller, the 5'11" Dakota matched up against her. Getting a steal, it's Yutan and Jade Lewis. Lewis one-on-one to the rack, lays it up and in. And the first basket belongs to the number 1 seed.
Well, that's what Yutan wants to do. They're not going to run up and down the floor and play the fast pace, but they love the transition game. Both these teams are going to try to turn the other over, and we'll see how points off of turnovers factor in. But I've got to believe that whoever wins in that battle probably wins the game.
Yutan gets 14 steals a game in 32 minutes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
A little too far away from home. Mara Dakota at midcourt applies a bump on Jocelyn Miller, and that's the first foul of the contest.
Yeah, both these teams play that aggressive defense. Yutan in a man-to-man. The thing you got to do, especially your top players like Dakota and Miller that we've talked about, avoid the silly fouls. Avoid the fouls out by the timeline that you just saw.
Substitutions already in for the Cougars. They will go 4, maybe 5 deep off the bench. Yutan 2 or 3. Vesley with the dribble, loses it, dives on it. The Cougars maintain their possession and draw another foul. It was Miller who got that 50-50 ball, something she excels at, and in the process was shoved. The call is against Haley Kuby, the senior for the Chieftains.
Yeah, watch going onto the floor after the basketball.
Both teams definitely into this one.
Well, it is that 9 a.m. start. Hope everybody got their breakfast in them already. Through the players a few hours ago.
You might want a monster drink or something this early.
Absolutely. Yutan played in the 9 a.m. game last year. They were down 17-3 after one quarter. They were not ready for the early hoops. They were not ready for prime time in Lincoln. Well, they did fight back to lose by just 4 against the eventual state champion North Bend Central.
Yeah, they did a great job in that game coming back. If they had started better, they might have won that game.
Weaving her way through traffic, getting to the hoop, Miller, and the ball out of bounds, last touched by the Chieftains, who were unable to secure the rebounds.
That's something for Yutan. You want to be able to control the boards. It's a good offensive team, this Cougar bunch, and you don't want extra possessions.
And another foul, this one on the inbounds play as Cougars were hitting the deck, and it's on Miley Dakota. So Kubi, Miley Dakota, and Mara Dakota each with the foul in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 fouls already on Yutan, only 5-12, or still 5-12 left to go.
3 ball for Miller. Nothing but net, but not in. Another offensive rebound for the Cougars. Strong take to the lane, but a miss on the shot by Delaney Runnels, a 5'6" freshman. Three ball up. Just pops out. That was Miley Dakota on the try.
It was a pretty good look. Got to find good looks against that very active 2-3 zone.
Deep 3 ball from the left wing comes up short. Summer Vesley on the try, and a cold beginning from the field for the Cougars. In transition off of a missed shot, Mara Dakota posts up on the right block and gets an easy deuce.
That's where you want her a lot of times. We mentioned about how smart she is, good at getting in position and finding those good shots.
Navigating through white and red uniforms, it's Jocelyn Miller, and Miller does what she does often, gets to the foul line after the infraction by Jade Lewis.
Yeah, the excellent drive against that man-to-man. You're going to see that a lot today. Jocelyn Miller, really good off the dribble, good at attacking the paint. You talked about the attacking that 2-3 zone. It's all about ball movement. I think with the Cougars, if they're able to spread the floor and find some lanes for Miller, she could have a big game here this morning.
Averages 6.5 free throws per game. That's 160 free throw attempts.
Wow.
On the season. Shoots 81%. Doesn't get either of them here.
I don't see that too many times.
In addition to the 9 a.m. start, which might have some folks a little weary to begin the game, there's always the difference of the arena. But it does not bother Haley Kubi from distance there. A 7-0 beginning in favor of Yutan. Timeout, Niobrara Verdigre. It's the top seed Chieftains showing why they're 21-2. An open look from 3, and Kubi knocks it down.
Champions are crowned each year in Lincoln. All of us at Visit Lincoln welcome the athletes, families, and fans from across Nebraska to our community. When the final whistle blows and the game ends, make sure to discover how Lincoln can make your stay even more memorable. Stop by the Visitor Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit us on the web at lincoln.org. Visit Lincoln is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Zollner Ford and Lincoln. Meeting your sales, service, and parts needs. 5 Points Bank. Trust a better bank for your financial needs. And by Family Physical Therapy. Getting you back in the game.
Yutan hits the 3, leading to a timeout by Niobrara Verdigre. I'm Michael Shively, Lou Siefker with me, Eric McKay, our courtside reporter this morning. just before that three. My point I was making was difference in the size of the arena. It can be tough to shoot when you get to the Bob Devaney Sports Center or the Pinnacle Bank Arena after playing in a small gym all season. Yutan on the steal, and Miley Takota finds her way to the foul line. She'll shoot a pair.
That's again Yutan off the turnover. The transition game big for the Chieftains in this one. You mentioned about the backdrop or about the gym. It's the backdrop when you're shooting. It's just a different feel. You got to get used to that. And the other thing is the fact that Yutan played here last year. We just mentioned that the North Bend Central game, and they fell down 17-3. It's tough to replicate experience, and Yutan's had that experience. They're off to a better start here in this one.
1 out of 2 from Miley Takota. 4 different players on the board for Yutan before Niobrara Verdigre has a basket. Chieftains doing a good job on Miller so far, who averages 26 points per game. She gets everything going for the Cougars. Here's an open three. It's an air ball from Vesley, but another offensive rebound. Give the credit to Evelyn Kuchera, the 6-foot junior. There is Miller, but she misses again. Kuchera cleans it up. Open three, and the Cougars are on the board. It's Delaney Runnels, the 9th grader, sinking the tray.
All about Evelyn Kuchera and offensive rebounding. 3 offensive boards so far in this first quarter.
The rebounding margin heavily in favor of Niobrara Verdigre. They're trying to claw out after an 8-0 Yutan start. The response, Mara Takota lines it up and knocks it down.
Well, Taylor Stark there did not close out on Takota, and she made her pay. You've got to close out on those shooters.
That's just the 5th made three-pointer this season for Mara Takota, but her head coach Clay Carlton told us she started to shoot the three again of late, and that's a good thing for the Chieftains.
Yeah, for sure.
Loose basketball after the turnover stays with Yutan. Niobrara Verdigre has given it away 4 times so far. This is your first quarter, which is brought to you by John Henry's. Our family serving yours.
4 turnovers, and many of them, I think most of them have turned into points for Yutan.
Right at the hoop on the inbounds play, Mara Takota not able to put it through. Double dribble. Delaney Runnels, she's a freshman, as I mentioned, and basketball, she comes off the bench. She is one of the top runners in Class D for cross country, probably track and field. We don't know yet. She hasn't had a season, but she did place at the state cross country meet, had a phenomenal meet, phenomenal season, finishing in the top 10, the best freshman at the meet. Whistle in the backcourt after the air ball.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Michael. You don't want to cover cross-country runners man-to-man because they'll tire you out. That's a great sport. First of all, cross-country on its own, but certainly for basketball, really gets you in cardiovascular shape.
And she finished in 6th place there at Kearney Country Club on a hot day in the fall. Contact on the jump shot. That puts Miley Takota at the line for the Chieftains.
I think Yutan doing a really nice job moving that basketball around the zone, and then when you have the opportunity against that 2-3, you want to attack in the middle and get something inside that zone. Takota now gets a chance from the free throw line after getting fouled on that shot.
We expected balanced scoring for Yutan. Nobody on the team averages more than 11. Everybody in the starting lineup gets at least 4.5 to 11 points. And we've seen 4 players join the scorebook already.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, certainly, Niobrara Verdigre, as that shot falls, they've got Miller, who's a superstar out there and score a lot of points. And certainly a go-to player if this game's close. With Yutan, you've got just so many different players that score. You really can spread it around.
After Miller, who gets 26 per game, the next leading scorer is Taylor Stark off the bench with 6 points a game. launching the three. It's short for Bella Boyd. Quick passing against that zone. The three-pointer rattles out. Offensive rebound, and after getting wrapped up, another trip to the line for Yutan. Offensive rebound for Mara Takota.
Watch this rebound. It's a long rebound off that weak side, and she just out scraps the Niobrara Verdigre player for the rebound, and also gets that shot up. Gets a chance for the two-shot free throw here. That's a good job. Not only the hustle to get the rebound, presence of mind to get that shot up as she's being fouled.
A miss for Takota. Into the ball game, Allison Suka for the Cougars. Just one made shot in the first 7 minutes for Niobrara Verdigre. And Mara Takota has 6 first quarter points.
Well, I know we've already referenced it, but look back to last year. Yutan was down 17-3 to NBC in that opening round game. Now, this year, there's experience. They're playing well. They're up 14-3 as we start to close this first quarter.
A loose basketball, and it's kicked right back to the Cougars, who throw it into the backcourt. That's a backcourt violation. Laying on her back, Bella Boyd knew she needed to get rid of it. She couldn't travel, but threw it backwards across half court.
Well, Yutan really has a chance now to make a statement. Already up 11. And kind of do, again, what NBC did to you last year. Get that big lead and force Niobrara Verdigre to climb that mountain.
Cougar fans trying to urge on their defense to keep it an 11-point deficit at the end of the quarter. Open three. Off of the back rim, missed by Kubi. Here's Miller crossing over to the hoop, puts it up and in. And Jocelyn Miller gets on the scoreboard to beat the first quarter buzzer. A terrific finish to a poor quarter for the Cougars. The number 1 seed, Yutan, ahead 14-5 on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
I've had the opportunity to work with so many outstanding students and parents in my 37 years as a public school teacher. The two things I've noticed they all have in common: a love for their community and a pride in their school. I've seen that pride in my science students who become scientists, in parents who show up for every game and every parent-teacher conference, in former students who become community leaders. Nebraska public schools are indeed the heart of our communities.
Beginning the second quarter. Michael Shively, Lou Siefker, Eric McKay. Game number 1 today. Hope you'll stick with us all the way through the contest. Late this evening, we'll be here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center all day long. We'll be back tomorrow, Pinnacle Bank Arena, for the semifinals on Friday. Niobrara Verdigre got a bucket with their star Miller. Transition opportunity at the end of the first quarter. See if that can be some momentum for the 8 seed against the number 1 Chieftains. Dakota throws it in. That's Miley with her first field goal. She has 5 points, and the lead is back to 11.
Good patient possession that time by Yutan. Just worked the basketball and got a nice mid-range jumper.
Chieftains get a trap and get a quick tie-up call. Good defense. Jenna Benjamin gets her arm in there. The possession arrow keeps the basketball with the Cougars.
A bucket by Miller at the end of the quarter. It's a much-needed basket. Niobrara Verdigre's got to be a little better offensively. Got to try to attack this man-to-man that Yutan is pretty good at.
And they're a multiple defense. They usually start in man. They might mix some 1-3-1 in there.
Yeah.
Right now they're trapping. And stepping in front of that pass was Jade Lewis. It's stolen right back. Here's Miller. Miller pulls up. The defense adjusts.
It's a good closeout by Dakota to stop Miller, not allow her to drive or get that shot off around the free throw line.
Here she steps through. The foul is before the shot, and a sideline inbound for Niobrara Verdigre. That's the second foul on Miley Dakota, the point guard for the Chieftains.
Well, you see Miller there just so adept at beating people off the dribble. That's one of the ways she scores a lot of points. There's a long three.
Just wide to the left. Rebound to the Chieftains. Miley Dakota brings it up, playing with 2 fouls. Her head coach, Clay Carlton, trusting her here early in the second quarter to stay in the game.
The one thing when you're trying to attack the Cougars zone, the one thing you don't want to do is do a lot of dribbling. It's been the ball movement that has allowed really good shots so far for Yutan, and then you're able to spread that zone out and attack off the dribble, get the ball inside.
Yutan, they like to go in transition when it's in the half court. They'll usually run a motion offense. They don't face a whole lot of zone, according to Coach Carlton, so a different look today, but it's not bothering Miley Dakota. Strokes it from long range.
That was about, what, 22, 23 feet? That's an impressive shot.
Not too far from a volleyball line here on the home of the Cornhuskers volleyball team.
Doing her best, Caitlin Clark out there.
And a foul. Miller gets it inside and draws a whistle. Mara Dakota just picked up her second, so both Dakota sisters with 2 fouls.
That certainly could be a factor later. There's that jump shot from way downtown by Miley Dakota.
Miller coming around a screen and another foul. That is the 3rd foul this quarter on Yutan. It's the 2nd foul in the game on Haley Kubi. And if you haven't watched much high school basketball yet this year, there is a change. Fouls now counted by quarter. So no more 1-and-1. Teams have until 5 fouls. Once the 5th team foul happens, there are 2 free throws. So no longer judging it by half and no longer a 1-and-1.
Yeah, that's been interesting all year. The 1-and-1 certainly can play a factor when you're trying to come back. Instead, if you foul somebody after that 5th foul, it's 2 shots.
And it resets after 1 quarter. Officials coming in to decide tie-up or foul. It is a foul, and it goes against Niobrara Verdigre and Delaney Runnels, her first.
All right, now for the Cougars, it's about ball security. Just too many turnovers. 8 already here in the first half, and that's, you're just giving away possessions. You can't do that against a good team, and certainly not when you're down 14.
By comparison, just 3 turnovers for Yutan. And here's Kubi, thought about pulling the trigger, instead gets inside, and some body contact. It looked clean up top, but maybe a little bit of a hip thrown by Evelyn Kuchera.
Definitely some body contact. We'll see it here. Just a good ball fake attack off the dribble. There's the bump. And again, I think that's what's been impressive about Yutan so far is they've really not forced many shots. They've been pretty patient in the offensive end against that 2-3 zone and really been able to find the shots that they want in their offensive sets.
Pops out on the second free throw, out of bounds to the Cougars, who have gone on another scoring drought. Credit this Yutan defense, which now extends to its 1-3-1. We've seen man-to-man, but now it's a full-court 1-3-1 press.
They've Yutan held 2 teams to 10 or less this year. They're really good defense.
The press break works, but the shot doesn't for Kuchera. Off of the offensive rebound, a partially blocked shot. Amelia Diekman, the 6-foot junior off the bench for the Chieftains, got that swat, and Yutan dodged it there. The Cougars had it right at the cup.
Oh boy, lost possession there. It's a great play. They had exactly what they wanted, just didn't finish the play. Down 15, you've got to be able to make those sort of shots.
Stepping into the 3-ball, just off the mark for Miley Takota. Here comes Niobrara Verdigre. Miller loses the basketball, gets it back, and then off of her leg, out of bounds. And uncharacteristic. That's where this team thrives, and especially this player, Jocelyn Miller. But there, lost her control and ball handling.
Yeah, it was a couple great opportunities. A team that's really good in transition. The Cougars been empty. There's a careless pass. Certainly, those sort of passes will allow the Cougars to get back in this game if they're able to score.
Lining up the 3. It's long for Runnels. Runnels just a 21% three-point shooter. Barreling her way to the hoop, Miley Takota misses. The putback isn't there, and Kuchera winds up with the board. Now here's Miller. Miller picks it up, and the Cougars will reset against the 1-3-1 of the Chieftains. Launching the 3. Off the side iron on that try by Taylin Stark, who's been quiet to begin this game.
Yutan's going to allow those shots all day long, those long 3s. Go ahead and let them shoot.
Clay Carlton calls timeout. His Chieftains squad pitching a shutout in the second quarter and enjoying a 15-point lead on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
John Henry's is now offering electrical service. Our service professionals have been helping with plumbing, heating, and cooling in Lincoln and the surrounding areas for more than 25 years. Now, we're proud to offer the same level of professionalism in our new electrical service. From a whole home rewire to adding new outlets or electric car chargers, John Henry's can be your one-stop shop for all your home's needs. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical. Our family serving yours since 1996.
Yutan fans, they've sure had a lot to cheer about this year. They opened the season at Elmwood Murdoch, a fellow state tournament team, and lost that by 8 points. Since then, 21-1, their lone loss coming to defending state champion Hender.
Yeah.
And Coach Carlton said, you know, that opening loss was really a good thing. Got his team focused, and they sure have been focused to begin this game.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a game like that to just really get you're narrowed in on what you need to do and what's at stake. And this team has really excelled. The Pender has a great team. That's their only loss, as you mentioned, since that opener.
Long arms. Oh, Miley Takota stretches out to intercept that one. Now she goes coast to coast and draws the contacts. Second foul on Taylin Stark.
Really like what Miley Takota has been doing. There's the steal. And no hesitation. Get out and run with the basketball. Nobody really stops the basketball. She just takes it all the way in, draws contact, gets to the free throw line.
Free throw in for Takota. We do encourage you to stick around for halftime. Brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We'll have some highlights for you and more. Sartor Heyman will help make your jewelry dreams come true. Miley Takota into double figures, and it's an 8-0 quarter right now for Yutan, who started the game with an 8-0 lead. And another picked off pass. Again, Miley Dakota. The lefty runner off the back rim. And Kuchera piling up the rebound stats.
Yeah, it's 5 already here in the first half. Another turnover.
That's 13 turnovers, and it leads to a run out and an easy lay-in. Jade Lewis does the honors, and the Chieftains are rolling this morning at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
Well, not the only problem is losing possessions, but Yutan's been able to exploit those turnovers, and here we see the 1-3-1 zone.
Air balls trying to step into the 3 there for Taylin Stark. Stark shoots 18% from long range and has taken a couple of trays in recent possessions.
Well, right now, Niobrara Verdigre is just a little discombobulated. They just don't have any rhythm or any flow offensively. And we've seen Yutan, they've played really good man-to-man, and that's worked. Now they're the 1-3-1 zone, and the Cougars just really struggling on the offensive end of the floor.
At the free throw line, a walk. A little sloppy with the pivot foot. And that's 5 turnovers on Yutan. Team that holds opponents to 32 points per game, and they did that against a pretty challenging schedule. The opponents for the Chieftains have a combined winning percentage of nearly 56%. Here's another steal, but it's given right back. So Yutan certainly displaying its defensive prowess throughout this year and doing it this morning.
Yeah, they're really trapping now. They're extending that 1-3-1 zone almost to the timeline, trying to trap, and that's really forcing Niobrara into the long shots like that one.
And it was a miss by Boyd. A jump ball, and it's Yutan basketball. We said we were going to talk often about Jocelyn Miller, and we were wrong.
Yeah,
Yutan
so far
has shut down a player averaging 26 a game.
She averages 26 a game. Right now we're coming up on halftime, and the Cougars have 5 total points. So yeah, what a masterful job defensively the Chieftains have done.
3 ball from the left wing. Nearly fell for Kubi. An offensive rebound. And the putback's not there for Jade Lewis.
A good job by Jade Lewis. A little undersized, still battling underneath there. That's rebound number 6, the defensive board there by Evelyn Kuchera.
Delaney Shield has entered for Yutan. She's playing the back of the zone. And a foul on Miller. Miller, 2 points, 2 fouls. And we've played 15 minutes of basketball.
Well, Miley Dakota has been everywhere in this ball game. Great hustle. Almost came up with the steal and gets the foul instead on Jocelyn Miller. And boy, this has been a very dominant performance here in this first half by Yutan.
Miley Dakota and company getting almost whatever they want. Tough pass inside, leads to a double team, and is that a travel or a tie-up? It's a jump ball, and the basketball belongs to the Cougars with 45 seconds left on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
So Yutan turns it over. Boy, the Cougars really need something here. You just got to score some points. You got to get something going, gets you a little bit of momentum as you head into the locker room.
The second quarter 1-3-1 has thwarted the Cougars. That 3 comes up a couple feet short. Runnels didn't have it measured, and Yutan could hold for the final look at the half.
Niobrara Verdigre is just, as I said earlier, they're just not in any flow offensively. And we've seen several long three-point shots, and Yutan's fine with that. They're going to allow the Cougars to take those sort of shots.
That is not the strength of Niobrara Verdigre. As a team, they shoot 23% from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
They're a team that thrives on the fast break and getting to the hoop and the foul line. They have not been able to do that this morning. Knocked out of bounds. Runnels got her hands on it.
Yutan has run these offensive sets very well and gotten the shots they want. 9.8 left in the quarter. They've got plenty of time here to attack offensively.
Kubi gets the loose basketball. Check that. Lewis misses the shot. The putback off of the window, and it goes for Mara Dakota. And an exclamation point on a phenomenal half of basketball for the #1 seed in Class T2. Yutan puts up a shutout in the second quarter, and their lead stands at 21 heading to halftime. We'll have highlights and analysis coming up on News Channel Nebraska.
Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever thanks to our streamlined buying process. Shop our current inventory and offers going.
The way we use electricity has changed a lot over the years. What hasn't changed is our commitment to make sure it's there the moment you need it. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
One of my passions is always to help entrepreneurs, whether they're starting off right away or they've been in business for a long time. And for me, I believe that our community is the strongest when everyone chips in with their own expertise and passion, that's going to lift the tide and raise all boats. That's intentional. Intentional culture means a lot. I have the personal satisfaction of being there along the way.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Atlo's fiber internet has definitely increased the productivity of our office. It's one of those things with internet and being a marketing company, we have to have it on and running all the time. And it's always up. We don't run into lags, we don't run into latency issues. It doesn't vary throughout the day, it doesn't vary on weekends or busy time periods. They have local service here. You need to go talk to somebody, they're just a quarter of a mile away for us to be able to chat with somebody. And that is a huge peace of mind for me as a business owner. So I would not hesitate at all to recommend Allo to anybody.
That is literally the funniest thing ever.
And then I said,
It wasn't, but this guy could use a win. Even if it's not as big of a win as I get with free Kasasa Cash checking. Kasasa Cash pays me a really high rate and refunds ATM withdrawal fees nationwide. So I feel like a queen. Has a mega bank ever made you feel that way? Or was it more like this guy? Take back banking with Kasasa Cash.
Get Kasasa checking at Liberty First Credit Union.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Allo. High-key internet for a low-key price. Want to see what games we're covering? Follow on X at NCN Sports.
Hi, this is Misty. Here at Family Physical Therapy, we strive to go beyond your symptoms, ensuring you have access to quality, individualized care. We offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Family Physical Therapy has an excellent staff that cares about our patients' success. Whether you're suffering from a sports injury, a stroke, or working to improve balance and coordination, Family Physical Therapy is here to help. When you're here, you're family. Visit us at one of our many Nebraska locations today.
Michael Shively, Lou Siefker with you. Eric McKay also joining us. Glad you could be with us this morning. It is game number 1 of the day. We will see 6 of them here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. And the first contest of this Wednesday, going the way of the number 1 seed, Yutan impressing up 26-5 over Niobrara Verdigre. Let's take a peek at your halftime highlights presented by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. You'll see a lot of Yutan here, and Mara Dakota will be supplying a lot of it. The senior did there 2 of her 8 first-half points.
Well, Michael, I really liked not only Mara, but Miley as well, how she attacked. She's a 5'11" point guard. That's like, if you're translating to guys basketball, that's like a 6'7" point guard. Got that height, but she's been really active. There's Jocelyn Miller.
That was at the end of the first quarter, and you could see she kind of had a frustrating slap of the hand of a teammate there, and that was her first and only bucket of the first half. It was 14-5 after 1 quarter. Yutan in complete control, and it remained that way through the second quarter. Niobrara Verdigre did not score in that 8-minute stretch.
Yeah, that was obviously a very tough stretch. There's the way the half ended off the offensive rebound and the putback by Mara Dakota. So what a great job by Yutan. Defensively, they were fantastic. 5 points for Niobrara Verdigre, Michael. You've got a player in Jocelyn Miller that averages 26 points a game. They have 5 at halftime. I don't know that you can play better defense than what Yutan did in the first half.
55 points per game. That's what Niobrara Verdigre averages. There was no way they sniffed that today. And what a fun storyline that's developing for Yutan. We talked about it in the open. We talked about it in the first quarter. This is a team that did not show up for the first quarter last year. A team that had high expectations, was bumped up to Class C1, and came in and got down 17-3. Now, they fought back more than the Cougars have, but they have completely flipped the script and done the opposite this year.
Well, it's so important to just have the experience. I mean, they had that experience last year, and the thing they learned out of that game was you can play a really good team, but you've got to be ready to go, and they figured that out. They're ready to go here today. The dominant first half. Niobrara Verdigre they weren't in the state tournament last year, and it just takes time to adjust to this setting. That we talked about the backdrop and how difficult it is to go from a high school gym into a bigger arena and shoot the basketball. There's just all those things you've got to learn along the way. Yutan learned it. They're playing really well.
Well, we do have one more game that comes up before a little break between games 2 and 3. We're very much looking forward to the next contest in Class C2. It's the 4-seed Cross County going against number 5 Bishop Neumann, and this is one that looks really evenly matched.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be a 4-quarter game, I think. Both teams, again, everybody's playing well when they get here. You kind of back into the state tournament, you play well. But a 4 or 5 seed, generally those games are very close, and I think both those teams really evenly matched. That should be a fun basketball game.
We're looking forward to that one. We're looking forward to the second half here. Stick with us because the beginning of the third quarter is next. You're watching state tournament basketball coverage on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Zollner Ford and Lincoln. Meeting your sales, service, and parts needs. 5 Points Bank. Trust a better bank for your financial needs. And by Family Physical Therapy, getting you back in the game.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Zollner Ford in Beatrice has options to make the process of buying or maintaining vehicles easy and enjoyable. If you have your sights on a new vehicle, a member of our sales team would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of Beatrice, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford in Beatrice. Sales and service with a smile.
My name is Jared. I've experienced a great deal of sin in my life. Alcohol, drugs, tobacco, sexual immorality, and much more. I was letting the devil control my life with the fantasy that these things would make me happy. All it did was make me feel empty inside. I was going nowhere and felt deceived. My heart was torn to a million pieces. At that point, I reached out to God. My life was changed. Yours can be too.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
This is Amy from Magnolia's Home Decor and Design in downtown Norfolk.
And I'm Kate. Let's welcome in spring.
If you're ready for vibrant colors, silk florals that are remarkably real, and a new look for inspiring your space, come visit us at Magnolia's.
From spring to everyday designs for your home, we've been busy creating looks that will make your home warm and inviting for your friends and family.
Watch us live on Facebook 6 days a week. Stop in and see us in downtown Norfolk or visit us online at shopmagnoliasonline.com.
Michael Shively, Eric McKay with you, or Eric McKay on the sideline. I was looking at him getting set up over there. Sorry, Lou. I wouldn't want to shortchange you.
You got to put me ahead of Eric. Come on now.
It's true. We do need to do that. The score at halftime here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center is Yutan 26, Niobrara Verdigre 5. And we have Eric McKay standing by sideline. He was able to visit with the coaches here at the break.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome back. You know, talking to both head coaches at halftime for Yutan, they say, look, not much better they could play defensively. Niobrara Verdigre's only points, a second chance 3-and-1 in transition. They got nothing in half court. They need to keep that intensity up in the second half. For Niobrara Verdigre, Coach Swally telling me he thought they came out timid. He thought the youth on this team maybe got swallowed up by the moment a little bit, so they need to limit their turnovers, settle in, see what they can do in the second half. Guys?
Well, thank you, Eric. And looking at the season scoring chart for Jocelyn Miller, the star player for Niobrara Verdigre, her season low in points is 10. She has 2 on a transition layup to beat the first quarter buzzer.
And she's also narrowing in on 2,000 points for her career.
Just needs 8 or 9 here today. Coach was a little unsure and figured it wouldn't matter if it was 8 or 9 because she's going to get double figures. Not been the case. Jade Lewis gets the offensive rebound, gets the putback, and dating back to the end of the first quarter, it's a 14-0 Yutan run.
How about Jade Lewis out there? Offensive rebound and a putback. She's been good on the boards. Not the kind of playing that point on the defensive side. Not the biggest player, but obviously very scrappy.
There's Haley Kubi getting deflection. Turnovers a big problem for the Cougars in the first half. 14 giveaways. Yutan, they didn't exactly take care of it themselves. Gave it away 8 times, but man, their defense feasted on miscues.
Yeah, that's been the key. Is how many points they scored off of turnovers, and Cougars not able to do so.
Second look at 3 this possession comes up well short. Taylon Stark having trouble getting it measured here this morning at the Bob. Miley Dakota, she thought about taking that 3 ball. What a good first half for her. Leads all scorers with 10 points.
Yeah, it's a good decision not to. They've been able to work the basketball in their half-court sets. Now turnover there as Lewis stepped on the end line. But by and large, Yutan has been really good in their half-court sets. They've been patient, and they've found good shots. Usually either an open 3 or something inside the paint after attacking the zone.
Yutan played the first quarter man-to-man, most of the second quarter in 1-3-1, and the Chieftains show the zone defense here to begin this second quarter. Make that second half, pardon me. Straight away 3 ball is up and nearly down for Runnels, but it pops out like everything has for Niobrara Verdigre this morning. And a foul defensively against the Cougars.
I think for the Cougars offensively, certainly against that 1-3-1, you can't be timid. Coach Wally talked about some timid play by his team. You've got to attack that 1-3-1 and be aggressive against it. There's a great look.
Hard foul applied by Chloe Hanslick. She had no choice because that was a perfect inbounds play. Yep. Wide open, Mara Dakota just a few feet from the basket.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. That's an inbound play. But they've gotten good shots all morning. That's a great example off the inbound. Dakota with a short jumper gets fouled.
Mara Dakota, a senior with 9 points. 5'10". She's solid in every aspect, according to her coach. Hit 3 threes in that district final game. A big victory over Norfolk Catholic. She had just 1 3 on the whole season before she hit 3 in the district final. She has 1 that she's made today. Talk about peaking at the right time. Mara Dakota has discovered a new aspect to her game late in her senior season.
Another turnover. He goes back and forth there off the turnover. You mentioned Mara Dakota. She's a player I think could score a lot more than she does, but it's a very team-oriented situation here at Yutan. Averages about 11.5 points a game.
Jade Lewis at the top of that zone, and it works out as another turnover against the Cougars. And that's what Jade Lewis does. She is the energy player for the Chieftains. Coach Carlton describing her as a menace, especially at the top of the 1-3-1 where she hounds the ball handlers.
Hope he's talking about basketball, right?
Yes. And shuffled her feet getting set up. There did Miley Dakota. Both sides into double-figure miscues and turnovers.
I think if, you know, as a coach, you're always looking at ways to improve, despite the fact that the Cougars have turned it over a lot. The Chieftains probably turned it over more than they're used to.
In and out, that 3 ball nearly went down. Jenna Benjamin still looking for her first points, almost got him there. Check that, Benjamin with the ball now. That 3 on the other side was up by Niobrara Verdigre and out. Benjamin called for that foul.
That's another turnover there for Yutan. Now 24, 4:46 to go. If you're gonna make a run, if you're Niobrara Verdigre, you've got to do it now.
They've been scoreless now, going on 11.5 minutes. Got a bucket in the final second of that first quarter. And unable to break the drought, Jocelyn Miller still stuck on 2 points. And in transition, an acrobatic catch and finish for Jade Lewis.
Now she has been that menace that Coach talked about.
Quick trigger 3-ball doesn't go for Boyd. Lewis escapes with the basketball. Throws to the corner. 3-ball for Miley Takota, back rim. With her head up, dribbling and stripped. Miller has the ball swiped loose. Jenna Benjamin on the left side. Doesn't have the angle at it, but a foul after an offensive rebound by Takota.
It's amazing what's gone on here in this game as far as, and you see the defense there starts the fast break, but how much Yutan's defense has bothered the Cougars in this ball game. 5 points in the first quarter for Niobrara Verdigre. They have not scored since then. That's amazing.
Timeout taken by Yutan. Coach Carlton likes what he's seeing with his group. The second half going the way the second quarter did here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. Now we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
A new year. A fresh start. A resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same. Plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
The Yutan Chieftains will inbound the basketball midway through the third quarter in excellent shape to pick up their first ever girls basketball win at the state tournament. And it continues. Running that same inbounds play, it's Mara Takota who puts it in.
Yeah, same exact play, same results. Yutan is looking very, very good. Crofton was, a lot of people thought maybe the favorite in this. Yutan might have something to say about that.
No kidding. 16 turnovers now for Niobrara Verdigre, but Boyd picks the pocket of the Chieftains and misses the layup, then commits the foul.
Oh, what a rough morning for the Cougars.
And it's a mental thing, I think.
It really
now.
is.
It's a wide open layup here for Boyd. Can't put it through. It's just a compounding effect from a tough basketball game.
Absolutely. And that does get in your head when you're struggling. You're instead of just making the layup, which you do most of the time, you're thinking, don't miss this. We need this. Don't miss it. And you end up missing it.
Middle of the free throw line. Sinks it like she's all alone. Mara Takota up to a game-high 13 points.
Takota at the high post. Knocks down the jumper. 30-point lead here for Yutan. My goodness.
And a 21-point run in favor of the top seed. Lots of dribbling for Stark. Gets it over to Miller. Fires up the shot. She hasn't had that many shots in general in this game. Couldn't make that one. Bodies hitting the deck on the sideline and a foul. Foul on Niobrara Verdigre. Evelyn Kuchera, her second. That is the fifth team foul on the Cougars. So 2 shots coming at the line here for Yutan. Running away with this basketball game. Niobrara Verdigre, Coach Chris Swally wants to settle his group down, get them refocused. Here with 10 minutes left in the ball game, you're watching News Channel Nebraska.
To sum up the past 20 years in one word, exceptional. It's one of our core values. But our people have been truly exceptional. Our customer support has been exceptional. In 20 years, where will Allo be? When we started, we were just a business fiber company. Then the demand came from residential. Now the products of both business and residential just continue to expand. We've got to start with customers' needs and always work backwards. The customers will tell us, and our teammates will take us there.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Michael Shively, Lou Siefker, Eric McKay with you. Yutan student section has done its part. The Chieftains leading 35-5 on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
The Chieftains have been great in a lot of things. Free throw shooting, maybe not so much. They have missed a few free throws in this ball game.
Second one goes through for Miley. That is her first point this half. The story is not Yutan's offense, which has been solid. The story of this game is the Chieftains' defense, which has not made a mistake almost the entire game. They've been there, pressuring the Cougars, forcing turnovers, forcing tough shots, and then getting defensive rebounds. Speaking of taking the ball away, there is Jade Lewis, but she gives it right back, and a foul. That's on Benjamin, her second team foul this quarter.
Well, I think you see how far out this 1-3-1 is extended against the Cougars, and it's really slowing down any sort of offensive set that they might have. That's why, especially when it's extended like this 1-3-1, you've got to be able to power through this and attack when you get the opportunity to get numbers. They're basically trapping, 40 feet from the basket at times.
Miller, she hasn't had anything easy. Takes the long three. It's short, and a scrap for the rebound. Excellent hustle on both sides. Kuchera, who's been there all day on the boards, goes at it with Delaney Shield. That's a difference of 7 inches.
Yeah. Good job by Shield just to battle, and really a great job by Kuchera. I'd almost argue that Shield had the basketball, and Kuchera went over and tied her up.
Tough pass, Mara Dakota throws it out of bounds. It's certainly not a perfect game for Yutan. I have them now with 13 turnovers.
Yeah, they've been turnovers, some missed free throws. It's hard to complain when you're up 31 here in the third quarter, but certainly a competition like every year in the state tournament gets tougher and tougher as you go. You've got to clean up some of those mistakes.
Bounce pass inside, a triple team against Kuchera. Bounces is out to Stark, and Stark airballs. Miller, no. Saved back in by Kuchera, and Miller's tripped, driving to the middle of the paint.
Well, I think that last shot by Miller kind of emblematic. Both of the shots on that set. First of all, the first shot was a long three-pointer. That's what the Cougars have settled for against this defense, and it's not their game, as you mentioned. And then Miller had a pretty good look off the offensive rebound. Makes that probably 90% of the time, left it short.
Flip shot doesn't go. She goes for it again, and this time she's fouled, winds up with her back on the court. And a rare trip to the free throw line for the future Hastings College Bronco.
Well, Miller's a really good player, and it just had a tough afternoon against a really good basketball team. Maybe get a couple free throws to go, you can get that bucket opened up.
Gets the friendly roll there, and that breaks the streak.
I don't care who wins the game, but I'm like rooting for that shot to go in. You just want something to fall for these girls.
You just saw the countdown to 2,000. for Jocelyn Miller. The student section keeping track of it. She needs 8. That is the career points total that Jocelyn Miller is trying to achieve. And trying to have a good showing for her team in the final 9 minutes. Those foul shots ended a 22-0 Yutan run that spanned 15 minutes of game time.
Wow. And nearly 2 full quarters without scoring. If you say Yutan wins this game, I probably believe you, but you'd have said Yutan nearly shuts Niobrara Verdigre out for 2 straight quarters. I would not have believed that.
The Cougars were confident coming into this game. They played a difficult schedule in one of the best areas of the state for high school girls hoops, Northeast Nebraska. They tested Crofton. They played St. Mary's. They are in the same region as Ponca and Wynot. But Yutan has just gotten the better of them in every aspect of the game this morning.
Yeah, Crofton was the only team that really took it to the Cougars this season.
Air ball there for Shield. Now here's Miller. 1-on-3, draws the hand check against Kubi, her 3rd, and another chance at the line for Miller.
Well, that's what you want to do if the shots aren't falling. Get to the foul line. Miller, good free throw shooter. Just get something to go in. If free throws are pretty makeable, and there you go. There's another one for Miller.
Still lots of game left for her to get to double figures, but at just 5 points right now. The last time Jocelyn Miller finished a basketball game with single digits in scoring, you have to go back to January 30th of 2021, her freshman year in January. She is a senior. That's the last time she was held to single digits. Like right now, she has just 6.
It's like the Kennedy administration, I believe. That's been a long time ago.
I believe so. Foul on Stark. Shots coming for Yutan. A 31-point lead. While the scoring drought has ended for Niobrara Verdigre, the field goal drought has not. They've made just 2 shots from the field.
Yeah, and you credit Yutan defensively because we saw them start out in the man-to-man, and then since they've gone to the 1-3-1, this has been a real clinic defensively. But really, both defenses that were very effective. Both free throws missed and a rebound almost
ripped away. Allison Sucha takes the basketball, and now Miller, 6 points away from 2,000, strides to the stripe.
Yeah, plenty of time for Miller to have that get to that 2,000 point total, especially if she gets to the free throw line.
All 5 points this quarter coming from Jocelyn Miller at the free throw line. Smooth stroke. The 81% shooter knocks them both down. And a shot to beat the buzzer for Yutan. It's Miley Takota from distance. And it extends the advantage to 41-11. The Yutan Chieftains dominating as the #1 seed. Here's a look at it. Takota on the run, lobs it up. Nothing but nylon at the bomb.
This is Emily with Family Physical Therapy at our Fountain Point location. Family Physical Therapy offers physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Our therapists are highly trained and certified in a variety of techniques, offering individualized care designed specifically to meet your needs. Our patients are welcome to a friendly environment, and our therapists are driven by their patients succeeding and meeting their goals. Family Physical Therapy proudly serving various locations throughout Central and Northeast Nebraska. Our goal is to get you back to work, back to play, back to life.
Public school teachers in Nebraska make a difference in our communities. I see it every day. Teachers connecting on a personal level with students and parents make our communities stronger. Our kids do better, community pride grows, and Nebraska thrives. Maybe that's why our public schools rank in the top 10 nationally year after year. Nebraska Public Schools. They are truly the heart of our communities.
A miss for Niobrara Verdigre to begin the fourth quarter. Benjamin leads the break, flips the shot up and in, and all 5 starters for Yutan have scored this morning. Their lead stands at an impressive 32 points.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They have been dominant in this ball game against a really good Cougar bunch.
Foul against Kubi. She has 4. But of little concern to the Chieftains here. They are 7.5 minutes away from the first girls basketball state tournament victory in school history. Hihaka Frazier probing, kicking out for the Cougars. Last touched by Niobrara Verdigre. Summer Vesley had it knocked away and then go off of her fingertips. The defense applied by Mara Takota. Benjamin looked for it at the last second there. Niobrara Verdigre has switched to a man-to-man. You could probably count on one hand how many times they've played this defense this year.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. They're a 2-3 zone. I don't know that they played man-to-man much at all this year.
Reach-in foul against Jocelyn Miller. This is your fourth quarter, brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at lincoln.org.
Well, Michael, I guess if you're down 32, you just got to do something, right? You get out of that zone, which, you know, sometimes 2-3 zones can be passive. And this Niobrara Verdigre's 2-3 zone is actually pretty aggressive, but it has not led to many opportunities in transition. So now they're just trying to create something. But down 33, probably a little too late at this point. Still 6:51 to go, but a long, long way to go to get back in this one.
Miley Takota leads all scorers, 16 points for the 5'11" sophomore. Man, has she been impressive, both sides of the court. The help defense, the 2 Takotas swarming, getting the block against Jocelyn Miller. Benjamin gets past a defender and finishes at the cup.
Well, there you go. You got Yutan getting a lot of layups, a lot of baskets around the hoop in the lane. And they got Niobrara Verdigre, they've taken a lot of threes. They just haven't been able to find anything inside against the Chieftain defense.
Well, glad you could be with us if you're just joining us this morning on News Channel Nebraska. The first game today of 6 coming up. All 4 in Class C2. Up next, it's number 4 Cross County, number 5 Bishop Neumann.
A fun day of basketball, Michael, here at Devaney over at Pinnacle Bank. Overton, the number 1 seed in D2, up 20, 47-27 over Paxton.
The Eagles, state champions in volleyball, trying to repeat in basketball. This Niobrara Verdigre team makes it to state. They thought they had a team that last year was going to be in Lincoln. 8 seniors.
Yeah.
They were loaded. But Miller, we've talked about her scoring ability all broadcast long. Shield can't finish there, but able to put it back in is Amelia Diekman, her first basket. Miller tore her ACL towards the end of the season, and the Cougars lost 4 of their last 5, falling in the district final. And Coach Swally said, man, it was like losing a sister when she went down. And that shot drops. Taylin Stark hits the 3, and that ends the field goal drought for Niobrara Verdigre, which spanned 20 minutes of game action.
Yeah, a lot of their shots have come from where Stark shot that one. She swished that one, but they have not been effective from deep at all in this ball game.
After tearing her ACL, Miller watched on in the summer as her teammates, who didn't play much the year before. Oh man, how about this? Amelia Diekman starting to take over. Miller, she watched her teammates, encouraged them over the summer, getting them better to get them to this point to be able to be at state. But today it's all Yutan with the lead, 5 minutes to go.
A community is described as just a smattering of houses, everybody living together, but what makes it a community are the people that live in the house. Deschler is a community of about 750 people, and those individuals living in those houses have a common goal of improving their surroundings. That's where Midwest Bank comes in. We look out for each other. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. My name is Julie, and I'm extremely proud to be part of the Deschler community.
Not too much for the cheerleading squad for the Cougars here this morning. It has been all Yutan, who has gone to its bench. Miller steps on through and has a chance to lower that counter towards 2,000 career points. It's at 4 right now.
Yeah, a couple of things to think about. First of all, 3 more points. Yutan scores, it'd be a running clock, which would obviously end the ball game. Miller's free throw goes. And I think the other thing is exactly that. Miller's chased to 2,000. You know, if I'm Coach Wally, I'm going to tell her, just, you know, be a little selfish at this point. We're not going to win this ball game. Go out and get your record.
She has 9 points in the game and is 2 points away from 2,000 career points. Again, she'll continue her career in college, signed with Hastings College.
She'll do really well at that level.
Three-pointer a bit strong. There's Miller for the board off of the miss by Jenna Trent. Here's Miller. She's going for it. Falls back, takes the 2. It rattles out. Amelia Diekman has played some good ball of late. She got that rebound.
That was a pretty good look by Miller. Another one just a little short.
Into Diekman, turns to her left and finishes. 6 fourth-quarter points for Amelia Diekman.
Got to find a way to stop Amelia Diekman.
Miller pulls up.
Oh, man, so close.
The rim doesn't want her to get to 2K. Such an awesome experience here. The Chieftains able to go deep into their bench for some significant minutes. Amelia Tieterman, a 5'6" freshman, has a chance for points at the line, and what an experience for these young players and the veterans who don't see the court too much. They're playing in the state tournament.
Yeah, get a chance to play, and certainly now with this expanded tournament, the extra day, teams that play on Wednesday, they get the day off, so sometimes when you have that 3 games in a row, it's nice to have starters out of the ball game early. You get a day off tomorrow, probably not as important for teams that are playing today, but certainly nice to get everybody in the ball game, everybody a chance to play here at the state tournament at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
And there's a point, a state tournament point registered for Amelia Tieterman. Miller draws contact before the shot.
That's only the 3rd team foul, so no free throws for Jocelyn Miller.
Wilson for first personal. Team foul number 3.
You know they're looking for the senior. They get it to her, and Miller, tough angle to finish there. She'll get another try, dumps it off to a teammate who gets 2.
All right, there you go. I think that's what you need to know about Miller. That's an unselfish play.
Summer Vesley with the basket. Boyd nearly gets the steal, but called for the foul. That's her 2nd.
Assessed against the Cougar, number 23.
And Miller, in her chase for 2K, she knows it. The student section in the front row has a counter on a big blue poster. And still, she flipped it to the open teammate who got the basket.
What makes her a special player. It's not about her, it's about the team.
Tough finish. Good basket, Madison Wilson.
Well, subs are in. They're still getting quality shots. Here we go. There's the record right here.
Miller lays it in.
2,000 points.
Jocelyn Miller has scored 2,000 points in her high school basketball career.
That's outstanding. That's rare air. 2,000 points. Great job for Jocelyn Miller, who cracks a smile looking over here at the bench.
And a timeout, Niobrara Verdigre. A difficult morning for the Cougars, but they're all smiles right now, celebrating the best player in girls high school basketball history for this co-op, and likely for both separate schools, Niobrara and Verdigre. There she is, going for 2001 now.
Yeah, she's on her truck for 3,000 now. Oh, wait a minute, she's a senior. But you can see that lane opened up, and she knew exactly what to do. Good job on that left side, left-handed lay-in. Not only scores the bucket to get to 2,000, but now a chance for an and one. Now this morning has been all about Yutan and how good they are, but it's nice. You know, Niobrara Verdigre is not going to win this game, obviously down 36, but it's nice to see a player of Miller's ability to have a moment like this, even in defeat.
The 17th player in Nebraska girls high school basketball history to hit 2,000 career points.
I saw you counting that up there, Michael. You might want to put your shoes back on.
Trying for an and one here.
Shooting one shot.
But the big picture of this situation is the Yutan Chieftains.
Yeah.
A team that was blitzed going against the defending state champs in the first round in C1 last season, back down to C2 where they typically are. Down 17-3. Totally different story. They were ready to go from the tip and are on the way to the program's first ever state tournament win. Stark just a bit short, and then a foul. That's on Frazier.
Well, you mentioned that game a year ago. The thing that stood out to me in that ball game was the fact that Yutan was down 14 in the first quarter against North Bend Central, who is dominant. They were on their way to their fourth straight state championship. Yutan came back and made a game of that and gave NBC a scare. And that showed the sort of heart that this team had. And this, we got off to a terrible start, but we're going to come back and fight our way back in this. They did that. That showed what sort of team this bunch is.
They get it inside, and Miller rips it away. Jocelyn Miller through contact, can't finish. Talking to Coach Clay Carlton for the Chieftains. We're going back and forth, and that one gets the roll. It drops through for Reagan Wilson.
It's always more fun when everybody can say they had part of the win.
Frazier nearly knocked it down. So Yutan, talking to Coach Carlton, said, do they feel the opportunity or pressure, saying we could be the first ever for Yutan to win a state tournament game? He said he didn't even know if it was on the radar.
Yeah.
It was all about, we just have an attitude of winning in general. Experience from last year, that was more of a motivator than being the first ever to get a win for Yutan. They wanted to do it because of what happened last season. A basket for Jocelyn Miller and a timeout called.
Miller gets the run out. I think they're probably going to sub out here, maybe.
They are going to huddle up for a 30-second timeout.
I think that's the cool thing about these kids is, is there pressure to win that first game? these are, 16 to 18-year-old kids. They don't, what do they care about history? It's all about this team and what this team can do. That's the only pressure they feel is within that team. And certainly when you play like this, the pressure kind of goes away because you're good. It's just about showing up and playing basketball. And, again, I think the talk about this tournament in this Class C2 tournament was, can anybody stay with Crofton? Well, I think Yutan can stay with Crofton. This is a good basketball team.
They've certainly put on a show this morning. A rout of the 8 seed Niobrara Verdigre. A 21-2 record for Yutan. There's a steal from Miller. She's up to 16 points, 14 in the second half, mostly in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good close here by Miller.
And a basket. That's Delaney Shields.
Good drive by Shield. Takes that all the way past the defense, all the way in for the layup.
10 players have scored for Yutan. Now you're getting to see a little bit of what Jocelyn Miller is capable of.
Steal here for Niobrara Verdigre. Oh, a near steal. Yeah, you see what Miller can do. That's just been tough. This Yutan defense has been so good. He got some subs in there, and Miller now starting to have a field day.
Doesn't go on the three. But this is going to be the 14th straight victory for Yutan. They'll improve to 22-2. And the most important is they get at least one more game. They'll be playing against the winner of our next game, Cross County versus Bishop Neumann. And that game will be here at the Bob on Friday at 1:30.
Well, Yutan's impressive win. They're going to advance here to the semifinals.
The Yutan Chieftains, in dominant fashion, capture the program's first ever win at the Girls State Basketball Tournament. The Chieftains get it done over the 8 seed Niobrara Verdigre, 60-28. Phenomenal defense. Balanced attack on offense. And the Chieftains are moving on to the semifinals. Up next, we'll talk with the winning coach, Clay Carlton, and the player of the game. Don't leave us. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
All right, thanks. Here in our postgame, Coach Clay Carlton. Coach, it's one thing to game plan defensively. It's another thing to execute the way this team did. What did you see from your team that allowed them to execute like this defensively?
I think just great team effort over, we started out in man, fouled a little bit, but we just did a good job of gapping on Miller. Held her down pretty good in the first half, but it was just a total team effort. You aren't going to stop that girl with one, and Miley does a pretty dang good job of defending great players, but it took everyone in our gap defense to do that, and you switch it up to 1-3-1, and we just kept girls around her. So it was a great team effort defensively.
Coach, you played the 9 a.m. game last year. Did you make any adjustments to prepare for an early game this year?
We had one morning practice this year, so we were awake this year, I think, at the beginning instead of being down 17-0. So, yeah, we did make one big adjustment there. So, girls were ready, and it was fun.
Talk about Miley's effort today, offensively, defensively. She was fantastic for you guys this morning.
Yep. Miley runs the show. She's a great player. She finds people in transition, on time, on target with passes. She can fill it up offensively and defensively. I mean, with all she does offensively, defensively, she is also asked to guard the opponent's best player. So, I mean, a lot to ask of a sophomore, but she's a special sophomore.
Well, Coach, congrats on the win. Good luck in the semifinals.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's bring in our player of the game, Miley Takota. Miley, congrats on the win. Let's start on the defensive side. What was the game plan? What was Coach's message? You knew you were going to be guarding the best player. What was it like? What was the mentality?
I knew that she was their main go-to girl, that she was going to shoot a lot of the shots. She was very good. She has a lot of options. She can shoot it. She can drive it. She's got deep range. I knew I had to shut her down, high hand. She does a lot of stuff with the right hand. Knew I had to sit on her right hand, but I also had my girls behind me defensively and help. Every time I caught the ball, we were pack line because we knew that they were their main go-to girl, that she was the one that was going to shoot the ball most of the time.
Talk about offensively. I thought you guys shared the ball really well. What was the game plan offensively coming in?
Kind of just do what we do. I feel like I share the ball with my teammates very well. I try to find the open girl. We execute pretty well in when teams run a 2-3 zone. Yeah, kind of just do what we do.
I know you've got more plans, you want to win more games, but Yutan's now won a game at state. What does that feel like?
It's amazing. You know, last year wasn't the outcome we wanted, but we knew we had a fire coming in. We knew that we wanted this more. Just being here before, it kind of helps. Also playing this game, it was really awesome having this opportunity to win this.
Well, Miley, congrats. Great job today. Thanks for joining us, and congrats on being our player of the game.
Thank you.
That's Miley Takota. If you need her player of the game, just a sophomore, incredible talent. Guys, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Fantastic interviews there, and some happy chieftains. Yutan gets its first win at state. Let's see how they did it. Your top plays brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. The first game of the 2024 Girls State Basketball Tournament. It's Class C2. It's number 1 Yutan against number 8 Niobrara Verdigre. And it was all Yutan early and often. Mara Takota gets the basket. Their defense suffocating. Getting it done on offense as well. There is Mara Takota, just her 5th made 3 of the season. She sinks it. Final seconds of the first quarter, and there's Jocelyn Miller, the Hastings College signee, one of the best players in the state. That was her first bucket, her only points of the first half. And Miley Takota has the response to start the second quarter for Yutan. A dominant 8-minute stretch for the Chieftains. A run out for Jade Lewis in transition. Their defense held Niobrara Verdigre scoreless in the second quarter. And they finish off the first half with a bucket at the end of the quarter. And it was a putback for Mara Takota. She had 8 first half points, and the score was 26-5. It continued in the second half. Jade Lewis gets it in off of the window. And the running 3, Miley Takota, again at the end of the quarter, a basket for the Chieftains, who led 41-11. They held Niobrara Verdigre without a made field goal for 2 full quarters. Jenna Benjamin got that bucket, but Miller did get this one to drop, and with that basket achieved 2,000 career points, the 17th player in state history to get to that mark. Congratulations to her. But the story, the Yutan Chieftains dominate 60-28 and earn the first victory at the state tournament for their high school in girls basketball. The Chieftains advance. They are 22-2. Niobrara Verdigre's season ends at 19-7. Here is the picture in Class C2. Yutan gets the win and will play Friday at 1:30 at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. We will show you the bracket here momentarily. Cross County and Bishop Neumann are up next. This is a look geographically at where these teams in Class C2 are located. Well, if you're north of Lincoln, you're pretty good at basketball in this class.
Yeah, certainly. Northeast Nebraska has a lot of very good basketball teams. We're going to see, as some different classes, you're going to see more Western teams. But in this class, everybody's kind of in the north and the east in C2.
Final score in this first game, Yutan 60, Niobrara Verdigre 28. Congratulations to the Chieftains. Now we turn the page to the next quarterfinal in C2. It's number 4, Cross County, number 5, Bishop Neumann, and it comes your way next on News Channel Nebraska.
Welcome to the 1890 Initiative headquarters at 11th and Q in downtown Lincoln. Brandon Axsmith with you on News Channel Nebraska as we are joined by Husker standout Merritt Beeson of the volleyball team, talking all things NIL. And Merritt, first off, NIL is new, and I think a lot of people maybe think that these athletes and student athletes are just handed over a big sum of money and they're on their way. But that's not how it works. And the 1890 Initiative specifically has something called fulfillment, where athletes go out into the community and they earn this money. Can you talk more about how that works and what that looks like?
Yeah, it's almost like a job in a way. Like we do things to get paid. Obviously, that's what NIL
NCN
is.
Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
At Zollner Ford, come and see our great selection of new Ford vehicles. Whether you're looking to buy new or you need a car serviced, it's our pleasure to assist you. Our online website makes shopping even easier. Browse our massive inventory of vehicles or schedule your next maintenance appointment. We even offer drop-off and pickup services. Stop by today or visit us online at zollnerofbeatrice.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Allo. High-key internet for a low-key price. Want to see what games we're covering? Follow on X at NCN Sports.
Champions are crowned each year in Lincoln. All of us at Visit Lincoln welcome the athletes, families, and fans from across Nebraska to our community. When the final whistle blows and the game ends, make sure to discover how Lincoln can make your stay even more memorable. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit us on the web at lincoln.org. Visit Lincoln is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Zollner Ford and Lincoln. Meeting your sales, service, and parts needs. 5 Points Bank. Trust the better bank for your financial needs. And by Family Physical Therapy, getting you back in the game.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sauter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
I've had the opportunity to work with so many outstanding students and parents in my 37 years as a public school teacher. The two things I've noticed they all have in common: a love for their community and a pride in their school. I've seen that pride in my science students who become scientists, in parents who show up for every game and every parent-teacher conference, in former students who become community leaders. Nebraska public schools are indeed the heart of our communities.
John Henry's is now offering electrical service. Our service professionals have been helping with plumbing, heating, and cooling in Lincoln and the surrounding areas for more than 25 years. Now, we're proud to offer the same level of professionalism in our new electrical service. From a whole home rewire to adding new outlets or electric car chargers, John Henry's can be your one-stop shop for all your home's needs. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical. Our family serving yours since 1996.
Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever thanks to our streamlined buying process. Shop our current inventory and offers going.
The way we use electricity has changed a lot over the years. What hasn't changed is our commitment to make sure it's there the moment you need it. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
One of my passions is always to help entrepreneurs, whether they're starting off right away or they've been in business for a long time. And for me, I believe that our community is the strongest when everyone chips in with their own expertise and passion. That's going to lift the tide and raise all boats. That's intentional. Intentional culture means a lot. I have the personal satisfaction of being there along the way.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Atlas Fiber Internet has definitely increased the productivity of our office. It's one of those things with internet and being a marketing company, we have to have it on and running all the time. And it's always up. We don't run into lags, we don't run into latency issues. It doesn't vary throughout the day, it doesn't vary on weekends or busy time periods. They have local service here. We need to go talk to somebody. They're just a quarter of a mile away for us to be able to chat with somebody. And that is a huge peace of mind for me as a business owner. So not hesitate at all to recommend Allo to anybody.
Salas weaving in, weaving out, and skying for...
Hey sports fans, looking for a convenient pit stop before or after the game? Look no further than Good To Go convenience stores. We're here to keep you going. Fuel up your tank with a refreshing drink and grab one more snack for the road. Good To Go, your winning play for game day.
And hey, I can dunk it too.
Good To Go convenience stores. Fuel up for the game locations in Lincoln, York, Geneva, Bruning, and Hebron.
That is literally the funniest thing ever.
And then I said...
It wasn't, but this guy could use a win. Even if it's not as big of a win as I get with free Kasasa Cash checking. Kasasa Cash pays me a really high rate and refunds ATM withdrawal fees nationwide. So I feel like a queen. Has a mega bank ever made you feel that way? Or is it more like this guy? Take back banking with Kasasa Cash.
Get Kasasa checking at Liberty First Credit Union.
This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. NCN Sports coverage of 2024 NSAA Girls State Basketball is presented by Currency, Allo, Liberty First Credit Union, Woodhouse Auto, and by Midwest Bank.
The Class C2 Girls State Basketball Tournament continues on News Channel Nebraska. Michael Shifley, Lou Siefker with you courtside. We'll check in with our sideline reporter, Jake Bartecki, soon. Who will get to play number one Yutan? I'm not sure it's something that you really want that much, the way that Yutan looked against Niobrara Verdigre, but the matchup here is a 4 versus 5 contest, cross county against Bishop Neumann. Starting with the Cougars, a similar storyline to Yutan from last year. Cross county bowed out in the opening round. They're looking to get an opening round win today.
Yeah, certainly, again, it's experience. You kind of learned from last year. We'll see how that plays into this. It seems 23-3. They played well this season, and I think they're hungry for a big win. You mentioned having to play Yutan. I don't think, as good as Yutan is, everybody in this tournament right now, including these teams, feel like they can go a long way, and certainly both these teams are feeling that way right now.
This is the third ever trip for Cross County, but they have been now back-to-back years. Bishop Neumann, this is their 19th trip as a program, but none of the players on the team have been to state. They've been down the last few years and are happy to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while, but you're right, a great tradition. This team is are 18-6, but man, have they played a tough schedule. They played a lot of good people, so when you're talking about who you're going to play next, they're not worried about it. They've played everybody, and I think they feel battle-tested. They feel confident, do the Cavaliers in this one.
Both coaches said, really, these teams are pretty similar. They're expecting a competitive game. We're hoping for one as well. We'll introduce the key players next. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Allo, high-key internet for a low-key price. Want to see what games we're covering? Follow on X at NCN Sports.
Hi, this is Misty. Here at Family Physical Therapy, we strive to go beyond your symptoms, ensuring you have access to quality, individualized care. We offer physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Family Physical Therapy has an excellent staff that cares about our patients' success. Whether you're suffering from a sports injury, a stroke, or working to improve balance and coordination, Family Physical Therapy is here to help. When you're here, you're family. Visit us at one of our many Nebraska locations today.
The 5-seed Bishop Neumann Cavaliers out of Wahoo. They like to spread around their scoring, but the most adept at scoring on the team is Bridget Whitney.
Yeah, she's done a great job. She is one of those players, Whitney, 13.8 points a ball game, and does a little bit of everything. She's a 1,000-point scorer, and certainly you'd like to have that sort of scoring in this ball game. I think a close game, who steps up, Whitney could be one of those players for the Cavaliers.
The 4-seed is Cross County, the Cougars, and Coach Mitch Bossart says Cheyenne Anderson might be the best basketball player, girls or boys, to ever play for Cross County.
Well, that's saying a lot, isn't it? And she's really a player that stepped up on both sides of the floor, become a really good defender. I think that was a challenge for her, but coming into her senior year has played very, very well in the defensive end. And, again, we talked about scoring in close games. How about defense? We saw it with Yutan in the last ball game. Who's a stopper for this team, and she could be that player.
It's number 4 against number 5. It's Cross County and Bishop Neumann. For more on the matchup, here's Jake Bartecki.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center, our 4-5 matchup, Cross County and Bishop Neumann. And I want to talk about the turnaround that Bishop Neumann has had from last year to this year. Last year they were 11-13. This year they had 11 wins by the middle of January and were 11-1 to start the season. And one of the big keys to that was being able to play on the road. Last year they were 3-8 on the road. This year they were 8-2. And when you factor in some of those neutral site games, 10-3 away from their area up by Wahoo. Guess what? Today's a neutral site game. And head coach Rick Aaron said that one of the goals for this team this season was to win a district final. Mission accomplished. They're here at the state tournament as the 5 seed. I'm sure that goal's become a little bigger. On the flip side, Cross County, 2 straight 20-plus win seasons, and they were in the state tournament last year. So a newcomer and a mainstay at the state tournament here in Lincoln.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Zollner Ford in Lincoln. Meeting your sales, service, and parts needs. 5 Points Bank. Trust the better bank for your financial needs. And by Family Physical Therapy, getting you back in the game.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. It's time to put a spotlight on these schools. Your school spotlight sponsored by Currency. Does your business need help financing big ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Cross County High School, they come out of the Stromsburg and Benedict area north of York. They were state runners-up in 2006, their first appearance at state. They made it last year, fell in the first round, and now they're back. Bishop Neumann, that's in Wahoo, Nebraska. State champions 3 times, state appearances 19 times. They were busy doing that in the decade of the 2010s. They made it 09, 2010, and then 6 straight between 2014 and 2019. Checking out these Class C2 squads, where do they come from? The general east and north region of the state. You see Niobrara, Verdigre up there at the northernmost, Crofton right next to that. Cross County is the furthest southwest. Bishop Neumann immediately north of Lincoln. Lots of good ball played in that region of the state. You see Clarkson Lee and Oakland Craig, the Patriot and the Knight. They're in the middle section. That's the East Husker Conference. That conference has 6 teams here at state across various classes.
Yeah, it's a great conference. A lot of good basketball played there, and that shows up year after year with these teams that make it down here to Lincoln.
Bishop Neumann's conference, also one of the top in the state, the Centennial. That's the Catholic schools from all across the region, from Kearney Catholic to Lincoln Christian, Lincoln Lutheran, Hastings St. Cecilia, Archbishop Bergen, Aquinas, etc. Grand Island Central Catholic. You have teams that are at state out of that conference as well, and no doubt the Cavaliers are battle tested.
Yeah, well, you look at the schedule that these guys have played, and 6 losses. Sometimes you think, well, maybe this team's good, but not that good. But everybody just about, I think everybody that they've lost to is here at state. They are, and 2 of those losses are to Yutan, the team that just advanced. So if you're Bishop Neumann, you'd like to be able to win this game and then get another shot at Yutan if you have that opportunity. It's difficult, certainly, to beat a team 3 times in one season, but you got to get past a very good cross-county Cougar team before you think about Yutan.
Revenge would sure be sweet, especially if it's served up in Lincoln. The winner of this game will play Friday against the #1 seed Yutan. The Chieftains dispatched of Niobrara Verdigre in dominant fashion this morning, 60-28. Bishop Neumann non-starters being announced. They're led by Rick Ahrens. This is his second season, but his second stint as head coach of the Neumann girls. He led the program 2008, 2009, 2010. They made state all 3 years.
Yeah,
now he's...
I'm sorry, Michael. Both the assistant coaches have girls on the team. So kind of a family affair with Bishop Neumann.
No doubt about it. And a deep family connection among the Cavaliers. On the other side, Mitch Bossart in his 9th season leading Cross County, has worked hard to build that program up. Really supportive of the other programs there at Cross County. The boys just qualified for state for the first time in program history, so both the girls and boys from Cross County going to be here in Lincoln. Time for your starting lineups. Bishop Neumann being announced right now. 5'8" junior AJ Bosak. 5'4" junior Nicole Bloom. A 5'8" senior Caitlin McGuigan. A 5'10" junior Jill Johnson. And the key player, 5'11" junior Bridget Whitney. Just one senior in the starting 5 for the Cavaliers. They do bring their other senior, Emma Keith, off of the bench. Now for the home team, the 4 seed Cross County. They turn to 5'10" senior Lily Peterson. Adrian Waller gets the start. She's a 5'10" sophomore. Cheyenne Anderson, the key player for the Cougars, a 5'8" senior. Brycelyn Larson, a 5'11" junior, starts, as does Lindy Kelly, a 5'9" junior. The Cougars bring 3, maybe 4 off of the bench. The Cavaliers 2 or 3. They'll shake hands at midcourt and we'll be ready for the second quarterfinal of 4 today at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Game faces on both sides. We expect an evenly matched contest here. Number 4 Cross County, number 5 Bishop Neumann.
You know, Michael, Cross County, you talk about how you're playing when you're coming into this thing. Cross County and Bishop Neumann lost in sub-districts. That's kind of interesting. And then Cross County lost to Clarkson Lee, who will play in the next ball game this afternoon against Crofton. And obviously we know about Yutan. So, you know, obviously both teams came off of that. They got the district opportunity and took care of business. Bishop Neumann beat Norfolk Catholic very handily by 30. And then Cross County took care of Superior by 10. So you kind of shook that off. You won your district final. But now, you know, the other thing I think with these teams, they're evenly matched. You know, who gets that start? Who jumps on the other team quickly? You want to be the team that's ahead and force the other team to chase you.
Tip-off won by Bishop Neumann. The Cavaliers have the basketball. Their first appearance at the state tournament since 2019, and the first possession is a turnover. Here comes Cross County to the cup. It's Brycelyn Larson, the first 2 of the ball game.
You know, Larson with a steal all the way in for the bucket. That's a great start for Cross County. Get the turnover, score in transition.
Both schools within easy driving distance, good-sized student sections. And Nicole Bloom gives the Cavaliers something to cheer about with a 3-pointer.
Bloom with the shooter's roll. It was a little bit short, but got that nice shooter's roll. 3-pointer there for Bloom and Bishop Neumann.
Both of these teams, they have balanced offensive attacks. It's not one individual. Those players with the first buckets, they average about 5 points a game each. Miss on that three by Anderson, and a rebound secured by Bridget Whitney. A foul in transition against Cross County. Lindy Kelly picks up her first. She is a critical player for Cross County and will certainly be keeping a watch to see if she picks up more fouls early in this game. Lob pass inside, picked off. That's the second steal for Brycelyn Larson. Cheyenne Anderson initiates the offense, and Kelly able to save it back in. Both teams playing man-to-man defense to begin this game. Lily Peterson on the right wing. A take for Anderson, and well contested by Bishop Neumann. In transition, they get it up ahead. A block, but the putback's there for Jill Johnson after the Whitney miss.
Jill Johnson running the floor. That's a good job. Get back and don't assume that shot's going in. Get to the rim, get that rebound. A good putback there.
Cross County averages 53 points per game. And they're too high on that pass. Looking for Peterson on the post-up.
Looks like Cross County going to throw some full court, at least some token full court against Bishop Neumann.
A man-to-man defense. They didn't play zone at all this year, so don't expect to see it. And the way they've started out with getting a couple steals shows the prowess of this D. They play light pressure, not necessarily what they build their team on. Solid drive. Caitlin McGuigan, the lone senior starter, puts it through, and 7 in a row for Neumann.
Good possession there by Neumann. Again, being patient. Find the shot. McGuigan got inside. A nice drive to the bucket.
Bishop Neumann, they do like to press. Haven't had much of a chance yet. They do play both man and zone and typically start out with full court man-to-man defense. That's a foul on McGuigan. Each team with one foul in the opening 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
I think Bishop Neumann, what they want to do at some point in this game is to speed it up, get out and run. They want to be good in the half court, but they want to turn this game in more of a transition game and speed it up. We'll see if they're able to do that.
Anderson to inbound. Averages 4 assists per game to go along with her 14 points.